What's good, Coach Colin Castello here with ShotMechanics Basketball. And today we're going to teach you how to fix your shooting form if you've got that Lonzo issue going on.
This video is brought to you by our friends over at Noah Basketball, changing the game one shot at a time. Noah is a revolutionary technology that's changing the way the world thinks about training shooting, and that's why we've partnered with them. So if you want to use the secret key to shooting that many NBA and elite Division I teams use, then show your coach or parent the Noah system at the link down below. And let's make more shots and win more games.
All right, so Lonzo Ball is kind of having a hit or miss rookie season. He's got some games he's great, some games aren't so great. But one thing that we've noticed is his shooting percentage is down a little bit. Now, this is something that we kind of thought was probably going to happen because scooting back to the NBA line, it's going to change his mechanics a little bit. Now, what I've noticed is a lot of younger players have some of the same shooting mechanics as Lonzo because they're trying to get enough power. So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to break down a few of the reasons why Lonzo might be missing, a few kind of general, really easy corrections that you can use in your own jumper to help your form and mechanics. And then that way, not only can he hit more shots, but you can hit more shots too. So the very first thing that we want to think about on Lonzo's shooting form is that shot line, right? This is the one that we see all the time where he lines up and he starts to bring the ball up the left side of his body, and then as he shoots, he's snapping over the top, right? Now, a left shot line can be productive. It's not the worst thing in the world as long as you're finishing straight towards the basket. And the issue with Lonzo is anytime we have movement outside of a straight line towards the basket, whether it's left or whether it's right, that move is going to be hard to generate towards the basket and not have it come off just a little bit. I think this is one of the reasons why Lonzo's having some inconsistencies in his shot, because if you scoot your feet out from the three-point line, the further back you get, the more one little tiny adjustment is going to make a difference on your shot. So if you come up, if you're getting ready to shoot, and if you're right here at the three-point line, you still might get a bucket. But if we move back, let's say 3, 4, 5 feet behind the NBA line, that same motion might make for 1 or 2 inches of extra movement on the ball by the time it gets to the rim. And then the difference in that might be the difference between a make or a miss. Now, our friends over at Noah Basketball say that the perfect entry or the perfect arc on a basketball is 45 degrees. And if you're getting further back and you're coming across your face like this, it's hard to get that optimized arc, right? So the whole idea that we want to do is we want to try to optimize the arc while keeping the shot fluid as well. So, the biggest key with the biggest issue with Lonzo is it comes up this left side. Not only is it up the left side, but he keeps his right hand on the side of his face right here. So as he comes through, he's got to snap it through at the last second. Now, we've seen some other left shot line shooters still be good, but what they do is they come up and their wrist is already twisting, so as they come through, there's not as much movement because as they come up to their set point, their wrist is already forward and it can snap. With Lonzo's biggest issue right out of the gate, he comes up, he's right here, so all of a sudden this hand has to snap all the way around and then come off, and it comes off that ring finger a lot of times. So the very first thing we want to think about is how can we correct that left shot line even just a little bit. All right, so if you have a left shot line like Lonzo, a couple things that you want to think about are maybe your hand position. Now, when Lonzo's getting ready to shoot, he has his right hand on the side of the ball just like this, and as he goes up into his shot, he almost puts the back of that hand right on the side of his face right here, so then he snaps forward. One thing that you can try to do is try to rotate your hand closer to the top of the basketball. And what that's going to do is if my hand's on top of the basketball, it's going to make it harder. If I pull it up right here, it's going to make it harder to put it by the side of my face. So the ball's naturally going to pull back towards the center of my body just a little bit. If your hand's on the side of the ball, it can get up here pretty easily, right? But if I push it over, all of a sudden now I'm really contorted. It doesn't feel like natural at all. So your hand's probably not going to be able to do it. So a lot of times with left-hand shot line users, what I like to try to do is I like to try to switch that hand to the top or even to the back of the basketball sometimes. And a lot of times that'll pull it over enough to where it's not as big of an issue. So hand position is definitely one that you want to think about and see if that helps out your left shot line. All right, so next we've got a couple drills that can help you out if you're having a hard time with that offside shot line. Now, the first drill I like to call is thigh taps. And if you've watched our channel, you've seen them before because they're one of my favorite drills to help everything get in alignment. And basically all it is you're going to shoot jump shots. You can either spin them to yourself, get a pass from a teammate, even off of the dribble, whatever you want to do. But anytime you're getting a shot, you're going to load quickly down and tap your thigh with the basketball. So as you come down, you're going to quickly tap and fire up. Again, we're catching, we're going to tap and fire up. Now, the reason why this is good is because if I tap down on my right thigh, if I'm a right-handed shooter, if you're a lefty, you're going to want to tap your left thigh. If I tap down, that's going to put everything in a straight line. So now to shoot with that kind of, offside shot line, I've got to crank the ball all the way back over. If you watch most of Lonzo's shots, when he shoots, he brings it over down and then loops it all the way back around. It's kind of like a reverse C coming around like that, right? So instead, we want to bring that down. So now our momentum's coming up, and even if it shifts to the left a little bit as I'm coming up or shifts to the offside, that's okay. It's going to be really hard to get it back over our face. So thigh tap shooting is a great drill. I highly recommend it for pretty much shooters of all age. Even if you're a college or pro level shooter, thigh tap shooting is a great way to get everything in alignment and work on loading those hips and springing into your shot. So get your reps on thigh taps and that'll help you out. So the next drill you can work on to correct this is what we call elbow taps. Again, one of my all-time favorite drills, where you're catching and you're shooting, but at the same time now we're tapping our shooting elbow to our shooting hip. So right here I'm bringing my elbow in, boom, getting a quick tap. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull the basketball over to the shot line. It is virtually impossible to put it on the offside of your body and still tap the outside of your hip, right? The way your arms and legs and body were made, to tap that hip, we've got to pull that ball over into that straight shot line. So again, this might not bring the ball all the way around for you if you've got that offside shot line, but a lot of times the difference between a make and a miss might be starting here versus starting here, right? If we can move it like 2 or 3 inches, sometimes that's all you need to hit more shots and optimize your mechanics. So again, we're doing the same thing, but when we catch, we're quickly tapping this elbow and then firing the basketball up that shot line straight through the hoop. If you can do that, everything's gonna stay in a lot better alignment. This is a great way to get practice reps in to make sure you're keeping the ball straight on the target. So the next issue that we have with Lonzo's jump shot, and maybe your jump shot as well if you've got that offside shot line, is full arm extension. Now, by this I mean when Lonzo shoots a lot of times, he kind of breaks that follow through off to where he's got this bend in his arm right here. With shooting, we want full arm extension because that way you can build your muscle memory. Everything's the exact same every single time, right? If each time I'm bending my arm like this, it might be a little bit different every time, so my release is gonna vary. And we don't want varying in basketball, or at least when shooting the basketball. We wanna have it as consistent as possible. That way, if it locks out, I know that every single time, my muscle memory is gonna be the exact same. Does that make sense? One less variable, one less thing that can go wrong on the jump shot. Now, this happens a lot of times with offside shooters because as you're bringing the ball up your body, this tension right here makes it really hard to snap your wrist and snap your arm in that complete extension. So what you'll notice is a lot of these offside shooting guys, even somebody like Kevin Durant, who comes up the left side of his body a little bit, are gonna finish with a little bit of a crooked elbow just like that. And so it's totally natural, but it's because your body's not really letting you get that full snap because you're coming from the left side instead of straight up. So probably my favorite drill to do this is what we call wall shooting. So you're just gonna find a wall somewhere over here. Could be on the side of a school. You can even use the backboard if you want to. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna get really close to the wall. You're gonna spin the ball to yourself, catch, and on the shot, you're trying to extend your arm as much as you can and get the ball as high up on the wall as you can. Here we're really trying to oversell and exaggerate it, right? If I catch and I'm getting ready to shoot, I really wanna get that ball, boom, really high up the wall, and then almost imagine a straight line up the wall, and that's where we wanna bring the ball up. You know, if you really want to, you can get hardcore, you can get a piece of tape and put it down the wall, or you can do the same thing and make sure that your ball line, shot line, and follow through are all going up that same piece of tape. If you can get your reps on wall shooting, it's a great way to get warm, it's a great way to get your form dialed in, and it's a great way to work on that full extension. All right, so this video helped you out. I highly recommend you click the top link in the description down below and get a free copy of my sniper shooting challenge. This shooting challenge is gonna change the way you think about your training, and we're gonna see how deadly your jumper can actually get. So, free workout down below, click that link and get started today. Also, huge shout out to our guys over at Noah for sponsoring the video. They're awesome, they're changing the way the world's thinking about shooting. So, in the second link down below, you're gonna wanna subscribe to their channel because we're gonna put out some fire content over there as well. And if you're new to ShotMechanics, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit the comments in the comment section down below, and let me know what sort of video you want to see next. This channel for the people, by the people, and I leave pretty much everything out for requests, so leave a comment down below, then hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Again, I'm Coach Colin Castello with ShotMechanics Basketball. Thanks for watching, and until next time, splash on.